Get free tech advice for your business from O2 Gurus. Search O2 Business for more.
Hey guys, welcome to BTech. Basil here comparing the Huawei Honor 7 with the Huawei P8. The P8, when it launched, got a really good review from us, but not a mind-blowing one. Mainly for a couple of reasons. It didn't have the best battery life in the world, and that knuckle tech, which allowed you to take a screen grab with a knuckle, completely killed the user experience. But Huawei's fixed that. A software update has meant you could switch that off. So this is instead a very elegant metal phone with a great experience as far as camera goes that maybe doesn't last as long as I'd want it to, but lasts as long as most flagships around. How does it stack up against the much cheaper £250 Honor 7 with its 3100 milliamps under the hood, which really should remedy that problem? Well, let's start by talking about the design. The Honor 7 is a thicker phone, as you can see. Unsurprising given the extra battery capacity, but it does carry forward a lot of the same design traits that make this phone great. For starters, metal frame and relatively flat sides make it nice and grippy. Metal is quite slippery, but the fact the sides are flat give you something to hold onto. You've got the same kind of button configurations on the right, volume and power buttons. Down at the base, same kind of port configurations, micro USB and loudspeaker. Up at the top, 3.5mm headphone jack. The Honor 7 does have a few cool things though. You have an infrared blaster up at the top as well as a 3.5mm headphone jack, and you also have a fingerprint scanner around the back. Fingerprint Scanner 8 works a treat. You can fire it up by just placing your fingerprint over it like so. You can also swipe down for a gesture-centric notifications pull, and you can swipe up for multitasking, long press, and it will take you home. Next up, you've also got a button. Customizable button, no less. Single press, I've set mine to launch Facebook. Double press, I've set mine to launch Twitter. Long press, I've set mine to launch Google Now. So that's phenomenal. You can set it to launch whatever you want it to launch, and it'll do the job really nicely from my experience playing with it for the past couple of hours. Ultimately, therefore, design-wise, I have to say, I do prefer the P8. It feels like a more refined experience, but purely based on how well that fingerprint scanner works and how much I love that customizable hardware button, I would actually pick this. As far as the screen goes, there really isn't that much in it. Both of these are full HD 5.2-inch displays, packing very similar qualities, so probably the same panel in all fairness. You've got a 424 pixel per inch sharpness, so it's really respectable. Better than the iPhone 6, better than the 6 Plus as well, but not quite as sharp as the S6 or the S6 Edge. Taking a look at the user interfaces, they're the same UI too. You can pinch out and then you get a hidden apps menu. You can pinch in to get an overview. You can swipe through your home screens, and Huawei's killed the applications tray, so it's a more iOS type experience. You can pull down from any home screen to get a universal search. You can pull down from the top to get your notifications and shortcuts as well. And you can also, if you long press, control, customize things like themes, transitions, etc. Can stick the brightness up a little bit more for you guys, and it's the same across both. But the real key differentiators UI-wise are going to come down to that fingerprint scanner and of course that hardware customizable button. In terms of multimedia, the immersive kind of nature of the screens is going to be virtually identical. Big, beautiful, sharp, not really going to be wanting for too much. Neither of the screens are the brightest that I've ever used, so outdoor viewability might leave a little bit to be desired. But they will both be as immersive, and the sound quality from both will be the same or similar. You've got loudspeakers at the base and mono loudspeakers, not stereo. You can also expect good camera setups on these, but they are quite different. The same front camera, 8 megapixels, but you've got a flash on the Honor 7. On the rear of both devices, you've got a 13 megapixel optically image stabilized camera versus a 20 megapixel not optically image stabilized camera. The 20 megapixel sensor on here is a new Sony sensor. Really looking forward to testing it out. It's the same one that's found on the Motorola Moto X Play and the X Style as well. But we haven't reviewed it, so we can't say anything too conclusive. I know for a fact that the Huawei P8 is actually a really good camera phone at night compared to most out there. So the OIS really helps things along. Will the lack of OIS hamper things on the Honor 7? Stay tuned for the review, we'll be able to answer that. One thing I can affirmatively say is that it has carried forward the slow shutter speed modes as found on the P8, so you can do things like light trails and have up to a 30-second shutter speed, which is great. You can also do all the beauty modes, etc. Huawei's famous beauty modes that make you look positively alien. As far as other multimedia goes, it's going to come down to gaming, and the gaming is going to come down to the processors. You've got a Kirin 935 in here, and you've got a Kirin 930 combo in here. The Kirin 935 octa-core processor, clocked at 1.5 and 2.1 gig, I think it is paired with 3 gig of RAM. In fact, both of these devices have 3 gig of RAM. We've got 16 gig of memory on both of our devices, but you can get them with more memory, 64 gig if you're in China with the Honor 7, which is pretty astounding. Shame that's not making it through to the UK. 3 gig of RAM paired with those processors gives you similar results in terms of performance, but we did a quick benchmark on the Honor 7 and it actually outperforms the P8. In fact, it benchmarks very, very similarly to the Samsung Galaxy Note 4, which is great. Other key highlights include the fastest LTE around, up to Cat 9 LTE outside the UK, Cat 6 LTE if you are indeed here. So if you're on EE, that around the kind of Soho area in London or other key hotspots, you'll get incredibly zippy broadband speeds in your pocket. Battery capacity of the Huawei P8 is around 2600 milliamps or thereabouts. That's versus 3100 milliamps in the Honor 7. What's also ridiculously good is the fact that Honor 7 supports fast charging, so those 3100 milliamps won't take forever to fill up, whereas the P8 unfortunately does not. Really didn't love the P8's battery life, but did quite like the phone a lot. Seeing the Honor 7 as a much cheaper £250, dare I say, refinement of a lot of things that we didn't really need too much in the P8. Like, I like the slenderness, but I would have sacrificed on that were I to get a bigger battery inside. That knuckle technology's also been refined, so it works a little bit less aggressively. To be honest, I still switched it off, but the mere fact from launch I could switch it off is only really a good thing. Ultimately, I'm very impressed with what Huawei's done here, from the fingerprint scanner that works right through to the customizable quick launch button on the left-hand side. The Huawei Honor 7 is a very attractive proposition that puts a lot of budget phones' feasibility into question. If you have any questions yourselves about the Honor 7 or the P8, just fire them in the comments section below. If you like BTech in general, subscribe to the channel. That's how you're going to stay on top of everything that we do. Thanks for watching BTech.
Holly's also a female, which is awesome because it adds something new to this channel, a female perspective on this, the Huawei Honor 7. New flagship type device from Honor. Just had a hands-on with it today. Starting off with the design, what do you think, Holly?
I mean, it's pretty standard. It doesn't look massively dissimilar to the Honor 6 Plus.
Except for the fact it's all metal.
Yeah.
Yeah, same kind of design language.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's quite recognisable as an Honor device. I think the finish on the back is quite nice. The sandblasted.
Yeah. So this is a 5.2 inch full HD display, metal body, but it has the same kind of flat sides that Honor 6 had before, like Holly was saying. It feels quite good for the price. So this is a £250 smartphone.